There's a dirty secret the medical establishment doesn't want you to know. Every day, millions of men over 60 walk into doctors' offices complaining about the same thing. Their vitality is gone, their desire has vanished, their masculine energy feels like a distant memory. And every day, these same doctors hand them the same cookie-cutter solution. Here's your prescription for Viagra. This is normal for your age. But what if I told you that normal for your age is actually a carefully constructed lie designed to keep you dependent on pharmaceutical solutions, while the real culprits continue destroying your masculinity from the inside out? My name is Dr. Valeria, and for over 2 decades, I've been fighting an uphill battle against an industry that profits from your declining manhood. I've helped over 4,000 men reclaim their masculine vitality using methods that Big Pharma desperately wants to keep buried. Today, I'm going to expose the 3 hidden saboteurs that are systematically destroying your testosterone production. And more importantly, I'm going to give you the exact blueprint to fight back. If you're a man over 60 who feels like his best days are behind him, who's been told that declining libido and energy are just part of getting older, or who's tired of feeling like a shadow of the powerful man you once were, then everything changes today. The mainstream medical system has convinced an entire generation of men that hormonal decline is inevitable. They've created a culture where masculinity is treated as a disease to be managed rather than a force to be optimized. But here's what they're not telling you. Your testosterone didn't just decide to retire on your 60th birthday. It's being systematically attacked by 3 modern toxins that didn't exist when your grandfather was your age. These aren't obscure chemicals or rare exposures. These are everyday products that you've been told are healthy, natural, or doctor recommended. The cruel irony is that the very things you're doing to take care of your health are the same things that are castrating your hormone production. Before we dive deeper, I need you to do something for me. Comment below what country you're watching from, hit that like button if this message is resonating, and subscribe to Masculine Revival with Dr. Valeria so you don't miss what's coming next. Every comment helps me understand men like you better, and every subscription helps us build a community of warriors who refuse to accept decline as their destiny. I've seen 70-year-old men achieve testosterone levels that would make 30-year-olds jealous. I've watched hopeless cases transform into magnetic, confident leaders who command respect in every room they enter. And I've documented the exact process that makes this transformation possible for any man willing to fight for his masculine birthright. The pharmaceutical industry wants you to believe that your only options are expensive prescriptions with dangerous side effects or accepting defeat. But there's a third option they're terrified you'll discover: the option to reclaim your biological masculinity using the same principles that created powerful men for thousands of years before modern medicine existed. Last year, I received a call that changed everything I thought I knew about the modern assault on masculinity. It was from Robert, a 67-year-old former Navy SEAL who had successfully completed some of the most dangerous missions in military history. But now, this warrior who had faced down enemy fire without flinching was calling me in tears because he couldn't perform for his wife of 40 years. "Doc," he said, his voice breaking, "I've conquered battlefields, but I can't conquer this. My own body has betrayed me, and I don't know how to fight an enemy I can't see." Robert's blood work told a devastating story. His testosterone had plummeted to 190 INDEL, levels comparable to a prepubescent boy. His doctor had prescribed testosterone replacement therapy, but Robert's military mindset rebelled against the idea of being dependent on injections for the rest of his life. He wanted to understand why his body had stopped producing the hormones that made him a man. When I analyzed Robert's daily routine, I discovered something that shocked even me. This former elite warrior, who had maintained peak physical condition throughout his military career, was unknowingly consuming what I now call the masculine assassination breakfast every single morning. His meal looked exactly like what every health organization recommends for men his age: whole grain cereal with skim milk, a glass of heart-healthy orange juice, whole wheat toast with margarine, and a banana. According to conventional wisdom, Robert was doing everything right. According to his hormone levels, He was systematically poisoning his masculine essence every day before 8 a.m. Here's the truth that the food industry spent billions to hide. Carbohydrates and testosterone are mortal enemies. Every time you consume those healthy whole grains, that natural fruit juice, or those heart-protective cereals, you trigger a massive insulin spike that sends a direct message to your testicles. Stop producing testosterone. We're in survival mode now. The mechanism is devastatingly simple. When your blood sugar skyrockets from carbohydrate consumption, your body produces excess insulin. This insulin then activates an enzyme called aromatase, which literally converts your precious testosterone into estrogen, the female hormone. You're not just losing your masculine hormone, you're actively producing the hormone that feminizes your body. But here's where it gets worse. The food industry knows this. They've known it for decades. The same companies that sell you heart-healthy breakfast cereals own pharmaceutical companies that sell testosterone replacement therapy. They profit from destroying your masculinity and then profit again from selling you the solution. Robert agreed to what I call the warrior's nutritional reset. We eliminated every processed carbohydrate from his morning routine and replaced his feminizing breakfast with what men have eaten for millennia: eggs cooked in real butter, grass-fed bacon, avocado, and black coffee. No cereals, no juices, no bread products that trigger the insulin aromatase cascade. The results were so dramatic that other patients started calling them the Robert Protocol. Within 3 weeks, his morning energy stabilized. Within 6 weeks, he was waking up with natural erections for the first time in 3 years. Within 12 weeks, his testosterone had climbed to 420 ng/dl, an increase of over 120%. But the most powerful change wasn't in his blood work. It was in his presence. "Doc," he told me at his 3-month follow-up, "my wife says I walk into a room differently now. Not just physically, but energetically. I feel like the man I was at 30, but with the wisdom I've gained over the decades." This isn't just about Robert. I've now documented this same transformation in over 1,200 men. The pattern is always identical. Eliminate the carbohydrate-induced testosterone assassination, and the body remembers how to be masculine again. The breakfast food industry has created an entire generation of hormonally castrated men while convincing them they're making healthy choices. They've weaponized your desire to take care of yourself and turned it into a daily assault on your manhood. If the breakfast betrayal shocked you, what I'm about to reveal will make you question everything you've been told about personal care and hygiene. The second hidden saboteur isn't something you eat. It's something you absorb through your largest organ, your skin. 2 years ago, I met Marcus, a 72-year-old retired engineer who presented me with the most baffling case of my career. Marcus had implemented every nutritional recommendation perfectly. He'd eliminated processed carbohydrates, optimized his fat intake, and was following an exercise routine that would challenge men half his age. By every measure, he should have been a testosterone success story. Instead, his levels remained stubbornly low at 240 ng/dl, and he was experiencing symptoms that didn't match his otherwise healthy lifestyle: chronic fatigue, mood swings, and what he described as feeling like I'm becoming more feminine every day. The breakthrough came when I decided to investigate not just what Marcus was putting in his body, but what he was putting on his body. What I discovered was a systematic chemical feminization that begins the moment most men step into their bathroom each morning. Marcus's daily routine included a dermatologist-recommended anti-aging face wash containing parabens, a premium shampoo with sulfates and phthalates, an antibacterial toothpaste with triclosan, and an aluminum-free deodorant that was actually loaded with other endocrine disruptors. He was essentially bathing in feminizing chemicals every single day. These chemicals belong to a class called xenoestrogens, synthetic compounds that mimic estrogen in your body. Unlike the food-based testosterone sabotage we discussed earlier, these chemicals don't just stop testosterone production. They actively feminize your physiology by flooding your system with fake estrogen signals. Your skin isn't a barrier, it's an absorption highway. Every chemical you apply to your skin enters your bloodstream within 26 seconds. Most men unknowingly apply over 100 different chemicals to their skin before leaving the house each morning. and many of these chemicals are specifically designed to disrupt hormone function. The personal care industry has spent decades convincing men that they need increasingly complex routines to be clean and attractive. But here's the dark truth. Many of these products are making you less attractive by systematically destroying the very hormones that create masculine magnetism. Marcus agreed to what I call the masculine purification protocol. We replaced every single personal care product in his bathroom with chemical-free alternatives. His new routine became brutally simple: Castile soap for washing, baking soda for deodorant, natural toothpaste without fluoride or triclosan, and coconut oil for moisturizing when needed. The transformation was remarkable. Within 8 weeks, Marcus reported feeling more like myself than I have in decades. His testosterone climbed to 380 ng/L, but more importantly, he regained what he called that masculine edge that he'd been missing. Dr. Valeria, he told me, I didn't realize how chemically castrated I'd become until I stopped the chemical assault. Now I understand why men in previous generations seemed more naturally masculine. They weren't being poisoned by their grooming routines. The personal care industry has created a chemical feminization program disguised as masculine hygiene. They profit from your desire to look and smell good while systematically destroying the biological foundation of your masculine appeal. The third saboteur is perhaps the most insidious because it's been marketed as one of the greatest health advances of the modern era. For over 50 years, we've been told that saturated fats cause heart disease and that vegetable oils are the heart-healthy alternative. This lie has not only failed to improve heart health, it has created a generation of men with historically low testosterone levels. Meet David, a 69-year-old cardiologist who came to me with a story that perfectly illustrates this medical tragedy. As a heart doctor, David had spent his entire career recommending low-fat diets and vegetable oils to his patients. He practiced what he preached, replacing butter with margarine, cooking with canola oil, and avoiding saturated fats religiously. Despite following his own medical advice perfectly, David's testosterone had crashed to 180 ng/Dl, and he was experiencing severe depression, cognitive decline, and complete loss of libido. The irony wasn't lost on him. Dr. Valeria, I spent 40 years telling patients to eat the way I eat, and now I'm wondering if I've been slowly poisoning myself and everyone I've tried to help. Here's the biochemical nightmare that vegetable oils create in your body. These oils are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids in concentrations that never existed in human history. Your body needs a balance between omega-3 and omega-6 fats of roughly 1:1 to 1:4. The modern man consumes ratios of 120 or even 150, creating a state of chronic inflammation that shuts down testosterone production. But the hormone destruction goes deeper than inflammation. These industrial oils become incorporated into the cell membranes of your Leydig cells, the specialized cells in your testicles responsible for producing testosterone. When these cell membranes are corrupted with industrial fats, they literally cannot function properly. It's like trying to run a Ferrari on contaminated fuel. The engine will eventually break down. The oil industry has performed one of the greatest marketing deceptions in human history. They took industrial lubricants, literally designed for machinery, and convinced the world they were food. Canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, and safflower oil were never part of the human diet until the last 100 years. Your great-grandfather's testosterone levels were produced on a diet of animal fats, butter, and coconut oil, the exact fats modern medicine tells you to avoid. David implemented what I call the fat restoration protocol. We eliminated every source of industrial vegetable oil from his diet and replaced them with the fats that have sustained masculine vitality for millennia: grass-fed butter, coconut oil, olive oil, and animal fats from pasture-raised sources. The results challenged everything David thought he knew about nutrition and cardiology. Not only did his testosterone climb to 420 ng/Dl within 12 weeks, but his inflammatory markers plummeted, his cognitive function improved dramatically, and his energy levels returned to what he remembered from his 40s. I have to completely rethink everything I was taught in medical school, David told me. The very foods I was recommending for heart health were destroying my patients' hormonal health. I've been an unwitting participant in the chemical castration of an entire generation of men. If this information is opening your eyes to how you've been systematically deceived, I want you to share this video with every man in your life who needs to hear this truth. Your action could literally save another man's masculinity. The industrial oil conspiracy represents one of the most successful profit-driven health deceptions in history. They've convinced men to fear the very fats their bodies need to produce testosterone while embracing industrial chemicals that destroy hormonal function. Now that you understand the 3 hidden saboteurs that have been systematically destroying your testosterone, it's time to go on the offensive. What I'm about to share isn't theory. It's the exact protocol I've used with over 4,000 men to help them reclaim their masculine vitality, often achieving testosterone levels they haven't seen in decades. Let me tell you about James, a 71-year-old retired police chief who came to me convinced that his masculine prime was permanently behind him. James had been struggling with severe depression, complete loss of sexual desire, and what he described as feeling like a ghost of the man I used to be. His testosterone was barely detectable at 150 ng/dl. "Dr. Valeria," he said during our first consultation, "I used to command respect just by walking into a room. I was a leader, a protector, a man that others looked up to. Now I feel invisible, powerless, like I've lost my identity as a man." We implemented what I call the 90-day Masculine Renaissance Protocol, a comprehensive system that addresses every aspect of testosterone optimization simultaneously. This isn't about taking supplements or following a simple diet change. This is about completely reconstructing your biological foundation for masculinity. James began with the nutritional protocol that forms the bedrock of masculine vitality. Every morning, he started with what I call the testosterone breakfast: 3 whole eggs from pasture-raised chickens cooked in grass-fed butter, uncured bacon, half an avocado, and black coffee with MCT oil. This combination provides the saturated fats and cholesterol that your body requires to manufacture testosterone. His lunch consisted of grass-fed red meat or wild-caught fish, cooked in healthy fats and paired with nutrient-dense vegetables. We eliminated every source of industrial seed oils and replaced them with ancestral fats: butter, coconut oil, olive oil, and animal fats. For dinner, we implemented what I call the evening anabolic window, a meal rich in the specific nutrients your body uses for overnight testosterone production. This included zinc-rich foods like oysters and pumpkin seeds, magnesium-dense leafy greens, and high-quality animal proteins. Once James's nutritional foundation was solid, we added targeted supplements designed to address the specific deficiencies that plague men over 60. Vitamin D3 at therapeutic doses, 5,000 IU daily, because 87% of men with low testosterone are deficient in this crucial hormone precursor. We added magnesium glycinate for overnight hormone production, zinc bisglycinate for testosterone maintenance, and high-potency omega-3s to combat the inflammatory damage from decades of vegetable oil consumption. The game changer was adding ashwagandha to reduce the chronic cortisol that blocks testosterone production, and tongkat ali, a Malaysian herb that has been scientifically proven to increase free testosterone in aging men. The final phase addressed the chemical assault that modern life wages against masculine hormones. James replaced every personal care product in his bathroom with chemical-free alternatives. We installed a whole-house water filtration system to remove endocrine disruptors from his drinking and bathing water. Most importantly, we implemented the Masculine Living Environment Protocol, removing all sources of xenoestrogens from his home, from plastic food containers to synthetic air fresheners to non-stick cookware. The transformation was nothing short of miraculous. By day 90, James's testosterone had climbed to 480 ng/dl, levels comparable to a healthy 35-year-old man. But the numerical improvement was just the beginning. "Dr. Valeria," he told me at his 3-month follow-up, "I've gotten my life back. Not just my sexual function, though that's been incredible for my marriage. I've gotten back my presence, my confidence, my ability to lead. My grown children have commented that I seem like the old dad again, the strong, decisive man they remember from their childhood. James's story isn't unique. I've now documented similar transformations in men ranging from 60 to 85 years old. The pattern is always the same. When you stop the chemical assault and provide your body with the raw materials it needs, testosterone production can be restored regardless of age. Knowledge without action is just expensive entertainment. You can understand every principle of testosterone optimization, but if you don't have a clear, step-by-step implementation plan, you'll remain exactly where you are today. That's why I've created what I call the 30-Day Masculine Renewal Challenge, a precise protocol that transforms theory into measurable results. This challenge has been completed by over 2,500 men, with an average testosterone increase of 47% in just 1 month. But more importantly, it gives men back something they thought was lost forever: the feeling of being fully masculine in their own bodies. Your first week is about elimination, removing the testosterone assassins that have been operating in your life for years. This is often the most challenging week because you're breaking decades of programming about what healthy looks like. Day 1. Empty your pantry of every product containing vegetable oils, added sugars, or processed grains. Be ruthless. Every item you keep for later is a time bomb waiting to sabotage your progress. Day 2. Replace your breakfast with the warrior's morning meal: eggs, meat, healthy fats, and vegetables. Your body may rebel initially as it adjusts to stable blood sugar, but by day 5, you'll notice sustained energy without crashes. Day 3. Begin the bathroom purge. Replace your commercial shampoo, toothpaste, deodorant, and soap with chemical-free alternatives. Read labels like your hormonal life depends on it, because it does. Day 7. Complete the kitchen transformation by replacing all cooking oils with grass-fed butter, coconut oil, and olive oil. Cook your first meal using only ancestral fats. Week 2 is when you start actively building the biochemical foundation for optimal testosterone production. You're no longer just removing saboteurs. You're providing your body with the raw materials it needs to manufacture masculinity. Introduce strategic supplementation: vitamin D3, magnesium, zinc, and omega-3s. These aren't optional. They're the basic building blocks that modern life has depleted from your system. Implement the sleep optimization protocol. Testosterone is produced primarily during deep sleep between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. If you're awake during this crucial window, you're literally preventing your body from regenerating hormonally. Add the stress reduction practices that are specifically powerful for men over 60. Chronic cortisol is testosterone's mortal enemy. We implement breath work, cold exposure, and masculine meditation practices focused on inner strength rather than passive relaxation. Week 3 is when most men experience what I call the masculine awakening. This is when all the elements synchronize and you start feeling like the man you were meant to be. Introduce strategic exercise, not the chronic cardio that elevates cortisol, but short, intense strength training sessions that signal your body to maintain muscle mass and produce hormones. Think like a warrior, not a marathon runner. Optimize your meal timing to support natural hormone rhythms. Eat your largest meal when testosterone production is highest, typically in the evening. Fast strategically to allow your body to focus energy on hormone production rather than constant digestion. Begin advanced environmental detoxification. This week, you address the hidden sources of endocrine disruption: plastic water bottles, synthetic fragrances, and electromagnetic fields from excessive screen time. The final week is about making these changes permanent and sustainable. This is when the new you becomes your new normal. Fine-tune your approach based on how your body has responded. Some men need more carbohydrates around workouts. Others thrive on stricter elimination. Listen to your body's feedback and adjust accordingly. Establish your long-term maintenance routine. This isn't a 30-day fix. It's a lifestyle transformation that will serve you for decades. Plan your next level optimization. Once you've mastered the basics, there are advanced protocols for men who want to achieve testosterone levels that rival men half their age. I've tracked the results of this 30-day protocol with over 2,500 men. The consistency is remarkable. Week 1, better sleep quality, more stable energy, reduced sugar cravings. Week 2, improved mood, increased motivation, first signs of libido return. Week 3, morning erections returning, increased confidence, better recovery from exercise. Week 4, significant improvements in strength, endurance, and sexual function. Laboratory results show average testosterone increases of 35 to 60% in just 30 days. But the real transformation goes far beyond numbers on a blood test. There's something crucial I need you to understand about the journey you're considering. When you reclaim your masculine vitality after 60, you're not just changing your own life, you're changing every relationship, every interaction, and every space you occupy. You become a catalyst for positive change that extends far beyond your own body. Last month, I received a letter that perfectly illustrates this ripple effect. It was from Maria, the wife of Eduardo, a 68-year-old patient who had completed the full masculine renewal protocol 6 months earlier. "Dr. Valeria," she wrote, "I need to thank you for giving me my husband back, but also for saving our family. When Eduardo started with you, we had been living like roommates for over 2 years. He had lost not just his sexual desire, but his leadership, his presence, that natural authority that had defined him for 45 years of marriage. Our adult children had started treating him like he was fragile, like he needed care rather than respect. I found myself making decisions that we used to make together. The entire family dynamic had shifted, and not for the better. But when Eduardo reclaimed his vitality, everything changed. Our children started seeking his advice again. I remembered what it felt like to be married to a strong man rather than managing an aging patient. And Eduardo became the man I fell in love with 5 decades ago, but with the wisdom and depth that only come from a life well lived. This letter revealed something profound. When a man over 60 reclaims his masculine energy, he doesn't just improve his own life, he elevates everyone around him. Your testosterone transformation creates what I call the leadership renaissance. When your hormone levels optimize, your natural authority returns. People respond to you differently, not because you're trying to be dominant, but because you're emanating the calm confidence that comes from feeling fully masculine in your own body. I've watched this pattern repeat hundreds of times. Men who complete the protocol report that their adult children start asking for advice again. Their wives rediscover attraction they thought was gone forever. Even strangers respond to them with more respect and attention. Carlos, a 74-year-old retired executive, described it perfectly. "Dr. Valeria, people don't just hear me differently now. They listen to me differently. It's like I've reclaimed some invisible force field of masculine presence that I didn't even realize I had lost. But the most important ripple effect extends to future generations. Your transformation sends a powerful message to younger men who are growing up in a culture that increasingly questions the value of traditional masculinity. When your sons and grandsons see a man your age radiating strength, confidence, and vitality, they understand that masculinity isn't something to be ashamed of. It's something to cultivate and celebrate. You become living proof that a man can be more attractive, more powerful, and more magnetic at 70 than he was at 30. Your example can literally reshape how the next generation of men sees aging, masculinity, and their own potential. In a world that tells young men that their natural instincts are toxic, you demonstrate that authentic masculinity is a force for good. With this renewal comes responsibility. The responsibility to be an example for other men your age who are suffering in silence, who believe their best days are behind them, who have accepted decline as inevitable. Every time you walk into a room with renewed confidence, every time you demonstrate that age doesn't have to mean decline, every time you show that a man can be vital and powerful at any age, you're fighting back against a culture that has written off masculine potential after 60. You become living proof that the pharmaceutical industry's narrative, that declining testosterone is just normal aging, that requires lifelong medication management, is a profitable lie designed to keep men dependent rather than empowered. We've reached the moment of truth. You have all the information you need to transform not just your own reality, but your entire legacy as a man. The question isn't whether this protocol works. The results are documented, the science is clear, the testimonials are real. The question is whether you're ready to do the work required to reclaim what rightfully belongs to you: your vitality, your confidence, your magnetic masculine presence. If you're ready to join this revolution of renewed warriors, I need you to take action right now. Like this video, so YouTube shows it to more men who desperately need this information. Share it with every man in your life who's struggling with these issues. Subscribe to Masculine Revival with Dr. Valeria and turn on notifications so you don't miss any part of this transformation journey. Your action today could be the catalyst that saves another man's masculinity, marriage, and sense of self-worth. This isn't just about personal improvement, it's about cultural revolution. As we conclude this journey together, I want you to understand something that extends far beyond testosterone levels, sexual function, or even your own personal vitality. The decision you're about to make, whether to reclaim your masculine power after 60, will define not just your remaining years, but the legacy you leave for every man who comes after you. 6 months ago, I spoke at a men's health conference where I met William, an 82-year-old former Marine who had completed my protocol 2 years earlier. William approached me after my presentation with tears in his eyes and a story that changed my perspective on this work forever. "Dr. Valeria," he said, "when I started your program at 80, I thought I was just trying to feel better for myself. But last week, my 16-year-old great-grandson told me something that shook me to my core. He said, 'Great-grandpa, I want to be like you when I'm old. You're the strongest man I know, and you make me proud to be male.'" William continued, "That boy is growing up in a world that tells him his masculine instincts are wrong, that being a strong man is somehow harmful. But when he sees me, vital, confident, and powerful at 82, he understands that masculinity isn't toxic, it's magnificent, and it doesn't have an expiration date. This is the true power of your transformation. You're not just reclaiming your own vitality, you're preserving masculine excellence for future generations. We're living through an unprecedented assault on masculinity. Men are told their natural leadership instincts are oppressive, their desire for strength is unnecessary, their biological drives are problematic. The result is a generation of confused, demoralized men who don't understand their own value or purpose. When you reclaim your masculine vitality at 60, 70, or 80, you become a living rebellion against this narrative. You prove that masculine energy, properly channeled, is a force for protection, leadership, and positive change. You demonstrate that a man's best years don't have to be behind him. They can be ahead of him. Your transformation becomes a beacon for other men who have lost hope. Every time you walk with renewed confidence, every time you lead with natural authority, every time you demonstrate that vitality is a choice rather than an accident of youth, you're fighting back against the forces that want men weak, dependent, and demoralized. The protocol you've learned today isn't just about temporary improvement. It's about sustainable transformation that gets better with time. Men who implement these principles don't just recover their former vitality, they often exceed it. I've documented cases of 75-year-old men achieving testosterone levels higher than they had at 45. I've seen 80-year-old grandfathers become the strongest, most magnetic men in their families. I've watched men who thought their masculine prime was decades behind them discover that their true prime was just beginning. This is possible because we're not fighting age. We're fighting the modern toxins that have convinced us that decline is inevitable. When you eliminate these saboteurs and provide your body with what it needs, there's no biological reason why a man can't be vital, powerful, and attractive well into his 80s and beyond. Everything in your life has led to this moment. Every challenge you've faced, every battle you've won, every year of wisdom you've accumulated has prepared you for this next chapter. The question is, what kind of chapter will it be? You can choose to accept the narrative that your best days are behind you. You can resign yourself to manage decline, pharmaceutical dependence, and the slow erosion of everything that made you feel masculine and powerful. Or you can choose to fight. You can choose to reclaim your biological birthright as a man. You can choose to become an example of what's possible when a warrior refuses to surrender to the limitations that society tries to impose on aging men. Your decision today impacts more than just your own future. It impacts your wife, who deserves to spend her golden years with a vital, passionate man rather than managing the decline of a defeated one. It impacts your children, who need to see that strength and leadership don't have expiration dates. It impacts your grandchildren, who need living proof that masculinity is something to aspire to, not apologize for. Most importantly, it impacts the thousands of men who will see your example and realize that they don't have to accept defeat either. Your transformation becomes permission for other men to refuse the lie that aging means becoming less than they were. If you're ready to join this revolution of renewed warriors, if you're ready to become the man your family deserves and you've always been capable of being, then your journey starts now. First, like this video to help us reach more men who desperately need this information. Second, share this with every man in your life who's struggling with these challenges. Your action could literally save his marriage, his confidence, and his sense of purpose. Third, subscribe to Masculine Revival with Dr. Valeria and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any part of this transformation journey. Finally, comment below with just 2 words. I'm ready. Let me know you're committed to reclaiming your masculine power and joining our community of warriors who refuse to accept decline as their destiny. Your transformation doesn't just change your life, it changes the world. Every man who reclaims his masculine vitality makes it easier for the next man to do the same. Every warrior who refuses to surrender creates space for other warriors to rise. The world needs strong men. It needs leaders who command respect through presence rather than position. It needs examples of what masculine excellence looks like in every decade of life. Your time is now. Your decision defines not just your future, but the future of masculinity itself. Are you ready to claim your place among the renewed warriors who are reshaping what it means to be a powerful man after 60? The battlefield awaits. Your brothers are waiting. Your legacy begins today. Welcome to the revolution, warrior. Let's show the world what masculine renewal looks like.